recently did a video on what not to have on your property when selling. I'll link it right here. It's a really, really important video. I want you all to watch. I will link it down in the description as well. Watch that one as well. So today we're going to talk about the top 10 things you should have on your property. So let's get into it. Number one, we're going to have surveillance equipment on the property. So we're going to have those cameras on the exterior. We're going to have them in the interior. You want to know who's coming and going. And if you're not there, if it's a vacant property, you want to make sure there's no leaks or anybody trying to break in. It's good to have recording images of people on the property. Now in California, we have to put a sign out like this on all of our properties when we are recording their voice. Okay, so in conversations we might be having, we have to put a sign like this out front. Now I'm going to recommend that you do this anyway, whether or not you have cameras on the property. It just kind of keeps everybody in good behavior, and they're a little bit more respectful. Number two is create a feature list. So you're going to come up on a piece of paper and you're going to detail all the upgrades, all the distinguishing features on the property. Now it's weird. I've been going to a lot of open houses and a lot of showings. I haven't been given any property brochures lately. I don't know what I know they're expensive, but come on guys, we're paying our agents a lot of money. They should be selling the property, but it is your responsibility as the seller, in my opinion, to make sure that you provide the feature sheet or the upgrade sheet or any distinguishing features about the property. They probably will know some, but not all. So create a feature sheet, print it out, make sure all of your buyers get a copy of that. Okay, helpful little tip. When you're writing that feature sheet, you are going to avoid emotional adjectives when you're describing some of the upgrades or distinguishing features about the property. So you're not going to say things like, hey, we have great neighbors, or it's a great trick-or-treat street, or hey, we have great schools and amazing teachers. Like, that's emotional. You have to be very factual. So if you do have, let's say, a great school district, you're going to say, our schools are rated highly. Please refer to greatschools.com for your own research. Okay, so you got to be real careful what you're disclosing in that feature sheet, but make sure it's very factual based. Number three is every house should have a good smell. Good smelling house. Whether it be clean, fresh. Okay, now a lot of you like to cook those cookies, so when the visitors come in, they smell the cookies. I mean, that's fine. I'm just telling you that when I walk into a house and I smell cookies, I'm like, oh, come on. You watch some YouTube video or you read something about cookies. Now, not gonna lie, I do love the smell. Is it going to sell your house? Probably not, but it does do one major thing, and that is it makes the house smell good. Now, a lot of my YouTube followers, you guys, are overachievers, so we're not going to put too much fragrance or too much scent in the property. It's better to be neutral. I like vanilla. Anything vanilla, I'm a fan of, okay? But we're not going to overdo the vanilla. We're not going to overdo the cookies. We're going to have very basic, bland smell. Vanilla, okay? Now, for those of you who are watching YouTube, I'm sure you're watching some other design shows. This candle comes up as a major recommendation from a lot of influencers. It's on Amazon. It's reasonably priced. I love the smell of this candle. However, it's very specific and it's very fragrant. I actually put this on a client's property and she immediately called me and said, Audra, you got to get rid of this candle. It's too sensual. I hate it. We're all gagging. We feel like we're in a brothel. I'm like, what? But here's the deal. If the seller's going to be offended, maybe some of the buyers would be. And to be fair, I was kind of a little offended. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Like, this is my favorite candle. But anyway, we don't want to do this, okay? We want to do smells that are very neutral. Another very popular candle is Diptyque. Now, this is more on the expensive side. This has a very specific smell as well, which I adore. However, it's not as neutral. So we're going to avoid very specific niche kind of smelling candles. We want something very vanilla. Now, I buy this every year. It's a Christmas kind of deal at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's it's super cheap, it lasts long, and it's not offensive. So I just kind of spray it in the air because I'm not a real big fan of candles either. I'm always afraid someone's going to knock it over and burn the house down, or someone forgets to blow it out or whatever. So sometimes just a quick little spritzer in the air is a good idea to make that house smell really fresh. If you're getting any benefit out of this video, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Number 4 is all the lights should be on when you are showing the property for sale, okay? And if you have a dimmer, we don't dim the lights. They're like full blast, as loud and bright as they possibly can be. I know that sounds completely crazy, but it makes the house look brighter, it makes the house look bigger, and you need to go around your house and make sure all the light bulbs are working. Your photographer will appreciate it, and your house will look better as well. And it won't come up in a home inspection report because the home inspector will call out any inoperable light bulbs. Number 5 is every house should have every hallway and every room should be easily able to maneuver around the areas. So I see a lot of sellers just putting too much furniture in the rooms and they can't really enjoy the living room, for example, or the dining room has too many chairs in it. You want to have the spaces, like tons of walking spaces. Now, I do have a channel completely dedicated to all the properties that I've sold. I will link that YouTube channel down below so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Usually when I'm meeting with my sellers, I'm telling them, like, take 30% out. We need to be able to move freely in the house. So every house, when you're putting it on the market, should have clear hallways. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what about the garage? Well, the garage can be a holding area, but if you do have it as a holding area or a storage area, just make sure it's organized. And you do want to have an inspector to be able to get in there and look at that water heater or whatever other components are in the garage. So make sure that when you are putting stuff in the garage, that you're pulling it into the inside, meaning the center of the garage, so that we do have access around the perimeter of the garage for inspection purposes. Number 6 is every home should have the toilet lids down. I know, this is like totally lame, and oh no, Audra, that doesn't sell a house. It would for me. I'm super judgy about that toilet lid. I mean, come on guys, I represent some really high-end homes and I'm oftentimes shocked, like, people, put the toilet lids down. It's so not good. And since we're in the bathroom, the toilet paper roll goes on top, right? We don't pull down below, we pull off the top. And those little rug mats that you guys have in those bathrooms, we take all those off. So every home should be free and clear of any little bathroom fuzzy wuzzy mats, all of them gone. Toilet paper rolls go on the top and our toilet lids are down. Please do this. Number 7, every house should have a fresh coat of paint or paint touch-ups. Okay, now a lot of you forget the baseboards. So this is both in the house, meaning the interior, and the exterior. So go take a look around your property. It does make a difference. And if you want to get top dollar, your buyers will notice this. And of course, if you are going to paint your house, you're going to paint it a neutral white color, no grays. Please stay away from grays. That's like, in the olden days right now. I will link down below 3 paint colors that I use and recommend to my clients. Please don't overthink it. There's like a billion white colors. Just stick with the standard 3, okay? I'll link it down below. I'm going to do a whole video on paint colors here soon. But let's not overthink the paint colors. And I will say that I do have a few properties coming up that I have some pretty wild paint colors in it. So if your house is very specific and it has kind of a cool vibe and the paint colors work, then great. But if you are intending to repaint your entire property, you're going to do it in a white, bright white format. Paint colors are linked down below. Don't overthink this. It's not that hard. All right, we're not going to argue about this next one. We're just going to do it. So number 8 is every home is going to have the smoke detectors and CO detectors installed. They have to be 10 years or younger, and the date of installation has to be written on the smoke detector before we even put the house on the market. And of course, in California, if you have a water heater, it needs to be strapped properly. We have to have those on every property. It's a code issue, and in the state of California, we cannot sell a house unless that's in place and secured properly or installed properly. Number 9 is every house should have an area where they store those medicines or those valuables. We don't want to have medicines in those medicine cabinets or those prescription drugs. We need to hide those. You need to have an area to put those, as well as your valuables. We don't want anybody taking anything off the property that is valuable, and there's just some things that are out of our control. Luckily, I've never had anybody steal anything off of my properties, but I hear a lot about it. I've heard other realtors and other sellers have situations where their property is not secured properly and things are taken. So find a place to put your valuables and your medications. Now, the last one, number 10, is the one thing that is probably the most important to have on your property when selling is your realtor, right? Now, I know I get in a lot of trouble for saying this because there are some states and some areas that the realtors don't show up and sell the property. This is just like, I can't even believe that. What are you paying them to do? But if you do have a realtor that is willing to show up on the property, I think you have an advantage. They're going to be watching your property. They're going to make sure everything's secured properly. They're going to be able to share the features and benefits and, kind of give you some better feedback as to how the showing went as well. So if you are looking for realtors in your area, of course, I do have a referral business. I'm happy to refer you a few agents in your area. I will have a link down below. It's really important that you select a very educated, high service agent to sell your home. I cannot stress that. It's just so important. And let's hope they show up at the showings. It's really important. Well, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. A lot of you are asking me, Audra, why do you need so many subscribers? Like, what's the deal? And the main reason is because the YouTube algorithm will push my content out there to the masses if I have a higher subscriber count. Of course, I'm asking for some help. My goal is 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm getting there. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.